Hi Reddit, I'm struggling with a strange, bittersweet experience and I don't know what to do with it. I need some guidance and maybe a little reassurance. So, about 25 years ago, I worked as a nanny for a wonderful family, the Thompsons. They had a young son, Ethan, who I looked after from the time he was a baby until he started kindergarten. Ethan was a joyful, curious child, always filled with questions about the world and an endless supply of energy. I was with him through all the milestones. His first words, first steps, the first time he rode a bike. We had such a close bond during those years, and I cherished my time with him and his family. When he started school, I transitioned out of nannying to focus on my career. Life took me in different directions, and while I would occasionally see a photo of him pop up on social media or hear snippets of updates through mutual friends, we drifted apart. The Thompsons and I exchanged holiday cards for a few years, but it slowly faded, as things tend to do over time. Ethan grew up, and the last time I really knew anything about him, he was a teenager going off to college. Since then, I hadn't had any real contact with him or his family, just the occasional online glimpse into their lives, which I appreciated but never acted on. That brings me to last week. Out of the blue, I had this vivid dream about Ethan. In the dream, he was still the same bright-eyed boy I remembered. He approached me with this peaceful expression and without any lead-up asked, "Are you okay?" I was taken aback and told him yes, and he smiled gently and said, "I'm okay." Then he turned and walked away. The dream felt so real, so comforting, yet strangely haunting. When I woke up, the image of his face lingered, and I couldn't shake this strange feeling, like it was more than just a dream. The next day, as I scrolled through Facebook, I saw a post from his mother. Ethan had passed away. He'd been in a tragic accident. My heart sank. I couldn't believe it. I sat there in shock, thinking about the dream and his voice in my head saying, "I'm okay." It was his birthday the day I had the dream, and I remember wondering if somehow his birthday had brought him to the forefront of my mind. But seeing the post about his death made it feel like something more, like he'd come to me somehow, to give me a final goodbye. Since then, I've been wrestling with what to do. Part of me feels compelled to reach out to his family and let them know about the dream. I feel like I received some strange, beautiful message from him, and maybe it would bring them comfort. But another part of me hesitates. We haven't really kept in touch, and they didn't even notify me of his passing directly. I only found out through social media, which tells me they might not see me as someone they'd want to confide in. It hurts a little, honestly, but I understand that 25 years is a long time, and people move on. There's also this worry gnawing at me. What if I tell them and it makes them feel worse? Maybe they didn't get a similar message, and hearing that he visited me could stir up feelings of hurt or jealousy, or make them feel like they missed out on something important. I can't imagine the heartbreak they're going through, and I would never want to add to their pain by saying something that seems insensitive or self-centered. I talked briefly about it with a close friend, and she said I should keep it to myself, that it was a gift meant just for me, and maybe that's true. But I feel haunted by the idea that maybe Ethan wanted me to pass on a message to his family. Maybe this was his way of reaching out to everyone who once loved him, in some small way. And there's another layer here too. I feel almost silly even believing this was real. I'm not one to typically believe in dreams having messages, and the logical part of me says it was a coincidence, a figment of my imagination brought on by nostalgia. But the dream felt so different, so vivid, and the timing so precise that I can't ignore it. It left me with a kind of peace that I can't explain, and I wonder if it could do the same for his family. So here I am, torn between wanting to reach out to his parents, to let them know their son is okay, and feeling like it might not be my place to do so. I'm also wrestling with the question of whether sharing this would help anyone, or if it's just my own way of processing the grief and shock I'm feeling. Reddit, am I the asshole for even considering sharing this dream with his family? Should I keep this to myself? Or would it be kind to reach out to them with this story in the hope it might bring them some comfort? I genuinely don't know what's best.